Hi.
Hey.
Hey, everyone. Let me know if you can hear us. Lord knows I'm going to be freaking out.
Looks like all eyes was already here. Brianne, unindicted co-conspirator. Mar.
Yeah, you be the shout out person. Thanks, girl.
CH. It looks like Leonard Amber, RC 911, classic overthinker. Classic overthinker? Did you see your shout out in the in Andy's stream yesterday where you were on the copyright strike upload from HTC? Hey, Carrie. Sounds good. Everybody says we sound good.
Fuck yeah. Oh, God, I can
Hear
breathe.
you fine, loud and clear. Sounds
Woo! All right, y'all. So, today we are doing part two of the pig roast. A couple weeks ago, we did this on Emily's channel. Everyone make sure to subscribe to Emily's channel at Critical True Crime. The link is down in the description. And so we went over there and we rewatched Jerry Holman's interview on Hidden True Crime. And just to kind of go over the ridiculousness that is him and that is her, especially given all the bullshit going on right now in the community, given Lauren Matthias being, I'm not going to say what Lauren Matthias is being because she's going around striking people for harassment and stuff. So I just want everyone to know that we are going to be viewing this interview of Nick McLeland now this time. We're going to be giving commentary on the things that Nick McLeland is saying and perhaps maybe the questions. It's for educational purposes only. And I like
fair use.
Fair use. Okay. I'll be stopping and commentating as much as possible. And if you guys have any issues, see any issues, shout them out.
Also, just for a little recap of what has been struck and marked as harassment so far, I've had multiple things marked as harassment. I said, fuck you, Lauren Matthias. And that got marked as harassment on my channel. I have shared things on TikTok that were marked as harassment, but my TikToks got reinstated. They have marked, so they have learned to mark it as harassment because that is more anonymous whenever you mark it. So that's why they learned from their mistakes about the copyright striking. So they struck Sleuthy. They didn't strike T. That was the Tweedles, but they struck Sleuthy, and then hers got reinstated. So her pig roast got reinstated. So everybody go check that out as well.
Oh,
and
it
also,
did?
Yes, just today, this morning, I think.
Yep. Holy shit, I didn't know that.
Yep,
that's
just
amazing.
Today.
Everyone go, they're so funny. We are not going to do this any justice.
No, theirs is like 8 hours long. And
it's amazing.
Yes, it's amazing. But so their latest streak of striking is Andy. They struck her for harassment yesterday. Andy was looking up the public information on the copyright website, and they struck her for harassment because I guess her phone number or whatever is on there. And Yeah, so and she tried to edit it out and get it reinstated, and it still didn't work. So they're fucking on one. They're probably going to strike the hell out of this. So just
Grayson,
give her a big fuck you. Yeah.
Grayson has a lot more responsibilities now. So just everyone give a hand to Grayson. Grayson, you're doing a great job, sweetie. A great job.
Oh no. I typed in critical true crime so I could subscribe, which I did, but when YouTube went and searched it, it said, "Do you mean hidden true crime?" Oh no. Say it ain't so.
Oh shit.
There'll be a lot of F words on mine. You'll know the difference.
Oh, that's amazing. For real. Yeah, mine too. If you don't like cursing, I'm sorry. This is not the channel for you.
I try, but I'm the most fired up whenever I'm on here, you know. So.
Anywho, let's get this party started. Let's start watching Nicholas McLeland. Let's start watching his hairline disappear in front of our eyes. And yeah, let's get going.
Piano fingers.
Indiana trial, the Richard Allen trial. Richard Allen was convicted of killing two best friends in 2017, Libby German and Abigail Williams, on February 13th, 2017. And the jury convicted Richard Allen. They believe he is Bridge Guy. They said he is Bridge Guy. We can now call Richard Allen Bridge Guy, the man on the bridge telling the two little girls to go down the hill. We are so honored, actually, that you would be with us today, Prosecutor McLeland. Thank you for accepting this interview with us. And full disclosure, I just want to share.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I think her channel is the only channel that's gotten the interviews with Jerry Holman and Nick McLeland, correct?
Between her and the Tweedles, I'm not sure who got interviews with who, but I think she did get a lot of exclusive interviews. Like, I think multiple of them were exclusive to Hidden True Crime.
Wow. Yeah. So, I guess thank you, Lauren, for getting these two to sit down and lie their faces off.
That we actually will probably be going live later today with some new exhibits that are coming down. By the time we release this interview with you, we might have already gone live with them.
That never happened.
That never happened.
Never happened.
That never happened.
I don't know what he promised them, but it wasn't.
Right.
He didn't follow through on his end of the deal.
Hilarious. Yeah. So she says all this, like she's going to maybe release this new exhibits and yada, yada. And who got it first? I think it was Barbara McDonald, wasn't it?
Well, you know, she's been on her knees since the very start. So.
Oh my God. I love Barbara.
I do too. I do. I do too. I do too.
Lord knows Lauren.
Out of all of them, though, I like her the most. I dislike her the least.
Yeah. Yeah. That's my general vibe around her too. I think she could do more.
Yeah, me too.
She could be louder because I feel like she's on our side, but she doesn't really make that known that she thinks that they have the wrong guy, really. You can tell, but you can't tell.
It puts her on the wrong side of history, for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Want everyone to keep that in mind, that there might be some new exhibits from the trial that have come out that we might have shared before this interview comes out, but we haven't seen those here yet while we interview you, prosecutor. While you understand that the public deserves to see these, what were you saying actually before we
it's just
start?
Chad what?
Chad Pitt.
Chad, oh, because Chad and Brad Pitt. I get it. That's adorable.
It's a mixed emotion when those kind of things came out. I know that the video from Liberty German's cell phone was leaked, I suppose, because it wasn't given through formal channels. So I'm going to say leaked.
No. Oh, this is
where
it all began.
It's public information.
Is this where it all began? God damn it. Yeah, we know leaked. It was leaked. No.
It's like they had the same narrative from the start.
Yeah, literally. No, nothing was leaked. Free public information was given to the public free of charge.
Probably 2 weeks ago or so. And it's a mixed bag of emotions, I guess, when those kind of things come out. And mainly because of the family, it affects them. They have to relive it. It's somewhat for me and my team. because we've got to relive it as well. And so I completely understand that the public's right to know those things, and those things are public documents. And I understand they're going to
I'm
come
so
out.
sorry his team had to relive that.
What team?
He said every time stuff like that gets released, me and my team have to relive it.
Your team. Oh God. Heaven
They
help the
do is
family,
just
but your team.
a little bit of emotion behind it, because you realize the family sees those and they may not even intend to see them. They may click on
Nick is
something
the
and then
lead.
it pops up. Or
I think
Yeah.
Jerry Holman is the oopsie daisy leak.
And what it is probably in all actuality, probably one of them is the leak to one and one of them is a leak to somebody else,
Yeah. Like, I think he just, like, let it slip. Like, oops, how'd that get there? Oops.
Yeah. It's crazy.
somebody may send them something. And so it's just a mixed emotions, I guess, is the best adjectives I could use for that. And so I understand, and I appreciate you giving me the heads up so I can let the family know. But when the cell phone video
He
came
wants
out,
to really
nobody
make sure he
knew.
acknowledges that he was
It
not the
got
leak.
sent
I
to all of
appreciate you
us,
giving me the heads up.
And while it was played in court, while the family seen it, to see that again, the last moments of their man, it still gets me choked up.
Oh my God.
The last moments of their loved ones, it's just hard for them. Emotion behind it, because you realize the family sees those and they may not even intend to see them. They may click on something and then it pops up, or somebody may send them something. And so it's just a mixed emotions, I guess, is the best adjectives I could use for that. And so I understand, and I appreciate you giving me the heads up so I can let the family know. But when the cell phone video came out, nobody really knew.
Let the family know about what you were giving her? What? Thanks for the... What?
He just wanted to, like,
He already knew.
make sure his hands were clean, right?
Yeah.
Quick.
It got sent to all of us, and while it was played in court, while the family seen it, to see that again, the last moments of their man, it still gets me choked up.
Oh, you're so full of shit, bro. I can't even take him seriously right now.
The last moments of their loved ones, it's just hard for them.
Yeah. Thank you for reminding us of that. And thank you for being there for the families too. I know we interviewed Becky Patty and she brought you up a lot. Nick.
Yeah.
Nick said this, and I know that you have been very close to the families of the victims for many years now.
Yeah, we don't have a victim advocate representative in our office.
That family is going to be a key figure in him running for judge. I think they're going to be a key mouthpiece in that.
Do you think he's taking over for Gall when she...
I don't know.
Oh my God, can you imagine?
But I know he wants to be a judge, and having a loud family like that is exactly what you want. You want somebody that's going to want to go out and talk about you and promote you,
Right.
And they already have a ton of connections, around the community.
We should do a thank you count. Okay. We should, actually. How can I keep track of that? Let me... Hold on, I can do this. Ticker. Wait. Thank you. Count. How many do we have so far? We'll just say 3 for good measure. All right.
A lot of prosecutors' offices do, but with us being such a small county, it's my chief deputy and myself, and then I have a staff of 2 people and an investigator, and that's really all we have for our office. And so we, meaning the chief deputy and myself, we are the victim advocates on top of the prosecutor. And so, we have to meet with the victims. We're the ones that keep them updated. We're the ones that answer all their questions about the proceedings, because a lot of this stuff is legal proceedings that the layperson just is not familiar with because they've never been through it. And so you build that bond with the victims, even if it's unintentional. You just do, because you're hearing stories about the worst moment in their life oftentimes. And so, like I told you, I have a trial next week. That's a rape. And then one after that's a murder. And with the rape victim, I've met with her several times, just like we did Becky, Patty, and the family. And you get to know them. You get to know their family, their kids, their grandkids, what they're doing, what their hobbies are. And you just build a connection.
Sounds like a conflict of interest.
Terry said coked up. Nailed it. Choked up. Coked up.
With them. And so, yeah, it does get emotional. And yes, did stay in very close touch with the Patties and Ann Williams, to the point where we're texting each other about, hey, this is going on. This is going to come out, just because that's the nature of our job in a small office like this.
So it seems like
Well,
they
I'm
have a lot in
grateful
common
then
that
that
way.
I-
They
that I-
get a little bit too close to victims.
A little bit. Very in common.
I brought this up, and I'm grateful that you will be able to share then with the families before this comes
She's
out.
grateful.
And,
That's another one.
and I'll make sure that they know too.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Absolutely. And for those that are new to our channel, I'm
Don't
And just
give a
preparing.
fuck.
And even during the trial, they both had very difficult witnesses that they had to take on, and very difficult topics that they had to learn, teach themselves about and learn. We're not experts in the field of psychology or firearm forensics. And so,
Sure the fuck ain't.
very, very, very tough topics that they took. And I'm just grateful that they both came on and assisted me in it. And again, I just couldn't have done it without them.
Will you have a background in the military, I want to share, and then got into law school, and you
That's what a lot of the players in this have in common. They all have a fucking military background that fucked them up so bad that they're terrible human beings. Fuck.
were a defense attorney before you were a prosecutor.
Correct.
So you've been on both sides of
Where
the
he made all
aisle.
his
Can you
connections.
take us back
Huh.
That's where he made all of his connections.
Oh yeah.
As
Back
being
to
the-
That's where they all fucking tell each other we'll see you in Valhalla.
2017 or wherever you feel that we should start when it comes to your involvement in this horrendous murder that completely rocked the town of Delphi, Indiana?
Yeah, I guess 2017 when it happened, I'm a lifelong member of this community. I was born and raised here. Of course, went away to school. I did travel a little bit after undergrad, and then got into law.
Fun fact about Nick McLeland, I believe he's like the only guy in his family that's not like a law breaker, like in general, maybe drug addict,
Does it come
some
from
variation.
from a rough upbringing.
Yeah. This thank you count's failing. I'm taking this down.
And that's crazy.
Law school and was away during law school, but then immediately the plan was always to come back here and hang my own shingle and start my own firm here. And so I did that. And so I was gone for a few years between 1998 and 2009 is when I came back.
Didn't he? What? Didn't he expose his wiener?
It has been sticking out of
Went to
town.
undergrad, took a couple years off, then went to law school.
And then there was a time
Came back and hung my
his tie was
shingle.
wrapped around it.
What?
Then there was that time his tie was wrapped around it.
I got involved in the military after I came back. And
In the
so
crevice.
I was a defense attorney here locally as a public defender in private practice. Also did some divorce, some real estate stuff, wills and trusts, those kind of things. I was also a defense attorney in the military with the Child Defense Service, they called it. And then so it really started in 2017, just as a member of the community, hearing about these two little girls going missing. I knew the German family. I've known them my whole life. A lot of their family
like a
members
conflict
went to
of
school with
interest.
a lot of my family members.
Yeah, because I believe there was another time where he tries to downplay his
Mhm.
his relationship with them. But now it's all said and done, so fuck it.
generation ahead of me. And so just knew them, knew the community, knew them in the community. And so when they went missing, it kind of just shook everybody in the community. And then the next day when they were found, it even rocked us more because I've said this a lot of times, and I think it even came out in trial. When they first went missing, no one believed anything nefarious had happened. We all thought, oh, they went to a friend's house and fell asleep,
that why you
or
stopped
their
looking for
phone
'em?
died.
Yeah.
Fucking when it got dark outside,
Mm-hmm.
somebody said
Again,
the tie was in his crotch to protect the leak.
Stop it. Ew.
this is 2017. We didn't have the technology then that we do now. People have to understand that we've taken leaps and bounds between then and now.
Leaks and bounds.
And so everyone in the community just thought, oh, they'll turn up. This happens. They're at a boyfriend's house, whatever the case may be.
A boyfriend's house.
Nothing's bad has happened. As the hours tick by,
They're 13, bro.
your mind starts to, okay, they haven't been found. What's going on? And then in the next morning, they still aren't found. And then you really start to wonder, okay, something bad has happened. It's okay to be 2, 3, 4 hours late, but now this is overnight. And it's February. The day in February was warm.
Leaks and binds, all I said. Oh, man. Too soon.
Runes and
But at night, it
runes and sticks.
got very chilly and very cold, very damp. Just a typical night in February. And then when they're found, just, I guess, the shockwave that went through the community that how could this happen here? It is not
Drugs. That's one way.
a lie, or it is not being facetious to say that we
And a lack
didn't
of
lock
good
our
policing.
doors here, that we
And the what?
And the lack of good policing.
Yeah. Yeah.
kept the keys to our vehicles in those vehicles. That was not an uncommon thing in this community. And to think, how could this happen? We're a place that we think is safe, our safe place. And so I think that's when my first involvement, came to light, because just as a member of the community, I was a defense attorney at the time. And so I wasn't in the prosecutor's office.
Fun fact, he was a defense attorney for some of our suspects, I believe. Patrick Westfall.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I think he was for, I want to say Gabe Ellis. Was he, guys?
I wonder if they could, if those their communications are subpoenaable because of attorney-client confidentiality.
Probably, you could get some confirming information that he represented him, but probably not much else.
I didn't become the prosecutor until January 1st of 2018. The former prosecutor, Robert Ives, he retired. There was an opportunity for me. I had always wanted to, in my career, kind of progress up the line to be a defense attorney. And then at some point, if the opportunity came available to be prosecutor or judge, that is what I wanted to do. The ultimate goal now is to become judge, to kind of move up through the ranks. And so the opportunity came available. I took the opportunity, and then I first became aware, not of all the evidence, but of a brief overview of the evidence in January of 2018. I sat down with investigators, Jerry Holman at the time, Sheriff Tobe Lesenby, lead detective Tony Liggett. Steve Mullen was involved. We all sat down.
The worst blunt rotation ever.
From hell.
From hell.
And we did a PowerPoint briefing of, okay, here's the broad strokes of what we have. And that's when I first saw the cell phone video, saw the crime scene photos, and everything we had, and then just tried to hit the ground running. That became one of my goals with the Floor Fire, to solve the Floor Fire and to solve and arrest and convict somebody for this crime as well. It just became kind of a bucket list item for me when I was here in this office. And so that's kind of how the progression started. I didn't know much about the facts or details from February 2017 until January of 2018. January of 2018 is where I kind of dove in and got all the evidence, not all the evidence, started to get all the evidence. And then from then on, I would get weekly, if not daily.
Don't you ever compare the god that is Tom Selleck to Dickless, no Dickless McLeland. How dare you? I'm like so hurt.
The updates on, okay,
Tom Selleck is a beautiful man.
we have this, we're doing this, we're investigating this person, we're talking to this person. And it became to a point where we just had a weekly Friday meeting where we would just brief each other on, okay, this is what we have.
And so you were a major part of this investigation since 2018 then, in other words, and that's when you saw those crime scene photos. Can I ask you, I saw them too in trial.
Sure.
What your first thoughts were when seeing the evidence, seeing this gruesome discovery, seeing what happened to these two little girls, as you pointed out, you guys just thought that they had gone to a friend's house, what were your first thoughts when investigating? Where were you looking? Where were the leads going?
In the beginning, I guess you got a couple questions in there. The first question about the crime scene photos, it's hard. It's hard to see crime scene photos regardless of who it is. When it's two children, it's just worse. I can't really explain it. It is. And attorneys to kind of separate our emotions from the case. And it's easier in some cases than in others. In this case, I knew Liberty German. I mean, I didn't know her on a first name basis, but I knew who her mom and dad were.
He's
I
walking
knew
it
who
back
she
now.
was. And so it's just hard.
What?
He's walking it back now.
Oh, now yeah, he kind of.
He's like, I knew her, but
What
wait,
was
I didn't
hardest
know her.
for me and what
I knew her, but I didn't.
still gets me choked, because that really, it's a live action video and you can hear the emotion. It really brings to life the situation. And so the video was really the hardest thing for me to see. The crime scene photos are definitely difficult. So it was tough. At the time I didn't have kids. When I finally did have kids, it became even more.
He had kids. I thought he wasn't.
Oh yeah, he's got two. He had two kids, but he's not married, right? Is my camera frozen, or can you see? Am I just frozen on my side?
Move your hand.
I'm moving them.
Oh,
Nothing's
you're frozen.
happening. Okay.
You're frozen.
I'll just turn it off. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm still frozen.
Nope, it's all good.
Oh, it's good. Yeah.
No, you're not married.
Okay. I don't. Nobody needs to see me anyway.
Whatever. I didn't get on camera on.
Yeah, but he never married his baby mama, apparently.
Okay, and it's not his baby mama is not Brooke Yoder.
I don't know any of the names.
Because so we know that he's now dating Brooke Yoder, whose brother is Dave Yoder. I think it's Dave or David.
Did you hear that Teresa got a fucking postcard?
Yeah. But David Yoder is who was one of the first responding officers that ran into the Flora house.
And so how is he related to the Brooke?
So Brooke is his sister.
Oh, okay.
And Nick McLeland is dating his sister. It's just weird, like incestuous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's
to look at those things.
That's what the that's what the postcard was about that she got.
It's creepy.
You know, it was like a postcard just to tell her that
yes,
McLeland gets chicks.
How pathetic!
Because I put
how pathetic.
Fucking
my
pathetic.
kids in those situations, and I think how horrible this must be to Becky and the German and Patty family and Anna, and so it definitely got tougher for me over time, just because I had kids of my own, and so it was difficult. then the next part of your question, I think I've forgotten it already. What was the second part?
Where did the leads take you?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that Yoder, so Nick McLeland's girlfriend's brother, Yoder, one of the first responding to the Flora fire. I believe he is the one that was found to have had accelerant on him. However, they argued that the accelerant could have been like cleaning materials from like cleaning out the gear, which is odd to me. I don't know how that works, but they said he was like the first one to run into the house, and they had said they found accelerant on him.
But if there was accelerant left there, I wonder. A lot of accelerants are very volatile, which means they evaporate fast. So I wonder if somebody just laid down a bunch of gas or something. If you walked in afterwards, you would probably absorb some of that.
That's true. Yeah.
And Classic asked about the postcard. So Sleuthy and T were joking about. I forgot exactly what they were joking about. But like a couple of days later, she gets a postcard postmarked from Indiana. That all it says was, what did it say? It just said like one thing. It said like Nick, something about Nick, clarifying something about Nick, and that's it. No, it said like something about his girlfriend or.
Yeah. Like Nicholas is dating Brooke Yoder.
Yes.
It's like something like that, basically. Like
so,
naming her.
Yeah, and just to clarify that one little fact. That whole ass postcard mailed from Indiana.
It was from Indiana too. Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Somebody in the chat asked where it was.
Oh my god.
Very creepy.
That is so weird. How'd they get her address?
Well, they got her address because she has been copyright struck before from.
Oh my god, did Lauren send it? No.
No, it was the Tweedles that copyright struck her.
Oh, maybe it was them.
Oh my god, could you imagine wanting to suck Nick's dick so bad that, like, even whenever people are speculating about his dating life, you have to write a postcard to somebody just to straighten out the facts?
Oh my god,
whenever you're literally spewing so many fucking disinformation about Delphi to begin with.
Oh my god, let's start this conspiracy theory, guys. It's fucking the Tweedles. It's happening. It's the Tweedles that fucking sent the postcard to Teresa to tell her that Nicholas McLeland was dating Brooke Yoder. They wanted to infiltrate again. Oh my god, they can't get enough of us. They love us so much. So cute.
Originally,
we just, in 2018, there were still thousands and thousands of tips coming in over the tip line, through the phone, and through email. And so the tips, we would just let them take us where they took us. Somebody would call in, we'd go interview that person. If that led us to another person, we would just do normal investigative things where you would just go down the line. Now, there weren't very many tips that we didn't investigate. There were a few tips that, a family of Sasquatches abducted the girls into the bridge. I mean, those things you can discount immediately. But Other than that, we didn't discount anything because we didn't know which tip was going to lead us to which person. And so I can't specifically remember where we were looking at in 2018 when I came in. I just know that through those years that I was working on it, there were several different people we interviewed, several different leads we investigated. So yeah, that's kind of the answer.
I have to jump in quickly on the Sasquatch reference.
Jesus Christ! Of course he does.
I presume that you're making.
You're muted.
Wait a minute, why?
Yeah,
wait a minute, Sasquatch. I must interject. What? Okay, John, let's see where this goes.
making that up, but did
No,
you
I'm
receive?
not.
You're not making that up. You got a tip that they were abducted by. I'd like to hear more about that.
Well,
This is where
I really don't.
they minimize anybody who thinks it's not Richard Allen. They try to minimize it, and they're trying to make fun of it. And anybody that doesn't think it's that thinks it's not Richard Allen, then you're just stupid, and you think it's probably Sasquatch, don't you?
Oh,
No, that's about it.
Oh, that's John having fun with conspiracy theories.
Because we didn't
Oh, okay.
go into it any further.
Yeah.
That was the one lead. That was the one lead that you're like, no.
Well,
it's
there were
not a
other
lead.
ones too.
Might have showed up in the Frank's memo if you'd investigated.
Yes, exactly.
Sorry.
She probably
He
doesn't even know
also
what the
had
fuck
a
a Frank's
lead-
memo is.
I'm so funny. Shut the fuck up, Lauren.
One point, and I'm probably going to get this wrong, but
Fucking
I
smug
believe we had a
smile.
lead at one point that they'd been abducted by aliens. And so we thought, okay, illegal aliens. Okay, so we need to look into who.
Of course
in
they did. The
county-
fucking racist. Of course they
What?
thought that.
Okay, we thought illegal alien. What? Why did you jump to that? Excuse me?
So
What?
the first thing, never mind. He's too much. He's too much.
I want to know how many family members of his are in ICE right now.
here illegally at the time. So we
Well,
called the
then-
gal back, and no, it was aliens. And so that's kind of another lead that we said, okay, we're not going to spend a lot of resources on this. We called her back. We've got it. We documented it. We filed it, and kind of moved on.
Sasquatch has a neck. I'm sorry.
Is it just me or does John look like a Ninja Turtle? Kind of does, right?
Yeah.
Especially when he sticks his tongue out like that. Yeah, his whole family's iced out, all right.
So we had some of those leads like that were just so far out there that we didn't put a lot of effort into. But other than that, I mean, you guys know the early leads that we looked into. Ron Logan, I mean, we looked into him. We looked into Brad Holt. We looked into all these
What
people.
do you mean? What do you mean, Ron Logan? We looked at it. You swore as soon as you got in that position, the first thing you would do was get Ron Logan out of there. So what do you mean you investigated Ron Logan?
And he's talking to them. Yeah, and he's talking to them like they know. They just heard of this case fucking last year. They've been fucking stuck up Lori Vallow's ass.
Yeah. What? What do you mean? You were like, nah, homie, I got you. Once I get in there, you're cool. No
And
further
again, we just didn't
investigation is needed. And Brad Holder, same too. Oh no, we talked to him. He was at work.
He's
No
probably
further
fucking Ron Logan's niece. If that's just I'm
Yeah.
just making that up. But like that town's so small, he's probably it's crazy.
Unreal.
Any lead for granted, with the exception of some of them that were just so far out in left field that didn't warrant any other man hours.
Today we're learning about the tips police don't follow. Yeah.
Right.
But Ron Logan,
there
right?
should be-
that
should be a
was,
big fat
it was
zero
his
there.
property. He had a violent past. You guys searched his home.
Sure.
He was a suspect. And I was following from my home every time there was a suspect. I thought it was Ron Logan at first, and when you guys went a different direction, and Keegan Klein came out, I thought, oh, this is the guy, and then he wasn't arrested either. It just.
And that's a roller coaster we went
But he was arrested. Just 3 years later.
And so is Keegan. Were you
Oh,
talking about
you know,
Logan or
you-
Keegan?
Keegan.
Okay.
Keegan, yeah.
And so is Logan.
Yeah.
you get a tip and you think, okay, this is it.
To be fair, if the vid hadn't taken Ron Logan out, he would have probably maybe eventually gone down for it.
Yeah.
Fuck COVID, man. They really
I
did
always
Richard
use the
Allen dirty.
analogy. I have done it in several interviews. I grew up in the 80s and the early 90s, so Price is Right was big. And, you have the yodeler where he's going up and you fall off the cliff. That is the experience we had. Every time we thought you
That's my favorite Price is Right game. So
I like
that one. Theo. Oh, and Planko. Avi.
Get a solid lead, you kind of ride this, okay, and then you just fall off the cliff because, okay, he's not in Delphi at the time, or he's got an alibi, or whatever the case may be. And so it's an emotional journey each time.
Dr. John, he could be Bridge Guy.
But what about
and like if he had like a big toupee instead of that weird hat that Bridge Guy was wearing? If he just had a really large poofy toupee at that time, it could
To be fair, he might be too like Roblox shaped to like pass. Like it's very square and blocky up here.
That is true.
so the public we knew about Ron, we knew about Keegan, we did not know about the aliens until now, but
I was so racist. It's so funny.
We didn't really know
what.
It's the part of their brand to bring levity to these situations. It's part of their brand.
About Odinism until the Franks memo came out. This was clearly a lead in the beginning. Can you help us understand where Odinism came in the investigation?
I have a leading theory that Lauren has a drinking problem.
I believe it. Sometimes she is really puffy, and people that get puffy and then unpuffy,
I have the authority to speak on it because I am a recovering alcoholic. Therefore, I know him when I see him. But now, ever since noticing that, I always pick up on when she slurs in videos.
She does.
And it's constant.
Yeah.
So it might not be out. I'm just saying allegedly, she probably not, but just maybe.
I had thought maybe that was due to like if she got like some sort of injection or something, or either like an injection or like some kind of dental, how all the celebrities are getting all their fake teeth. Like I thought maybe it had something to do with that, but it would make more sense because it does kind of sound drunky, but like trying to be sobery.
Yeah, but if it's not drunky, it's like maybe like a Zanny,
Yeah, could be.
Zanny the nanny.
I don't know how it originally was brought to light. I just know that we investigated it. We obviously we did everything we could to track it down. We didn't take it for granted. We had specific investigators investigating those leads. We interviewed someone who had knowledge about Odinism from Purdue, the professor. We didn't just take it for granted, even though I remember when it first came out, I thought this is too crazy, not here in Carroll County. But okay, let's see. Maybe it's not Odinism, but maybe these people are involved. Maybe Odinism has nothing to do with it, but maybe the people are involved. And so we have to look at those things. The people that were accused, they had some criminal history. And so they had the connections to each other. And so it's just something, when you're doing an investigation like this, it's something you don't want to just cast to the side. You've got to look into it. And even though the Odinism aspect to me was far-fetched, the people still could have been involved in some other way. And so we looked at it. Again, I can't remember exactly how it came up, but at the end of the day, it was just another lead where you can't prove. We couldn't have charged any of those people for this killing because you can't prove the elements of the crime with them.
But you can with a fucking false bullet, fake fucking evidence. But
you can with Rick Allen, who have arguably much less evidence against him than the circumstantial evidence against these suspects. Call bullshit, McLeland. Call bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And so we moved on.
And when you say the elements of the crime, are we talking alibi? What are elements of the crime that you could not prove when it comes to Odinism?
Well, and so each crime has certain elements. The defendant knowingly, intentionally murdered the victim. Those are the basic elements of murder. And you have to be able to prove those things. And so with the people that were involved, I guess.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Yeah.
people that were tipped in that had connections to Odinism, we could never prove those elements. You could never place them in Delphi at the time of the crime.
What do you mean you cannot place them in Delphi at the time of the crime? Patrick Westphal lived in Delphi. He lived like
Ron Logan
Ron Logan lived in right there.
at the crime scene, his phone was pinging.
And
in the
Patrick
area.
Patrick Westphal had no alibi. He said he was at home. Just like Rick Allen says he was at home past 2 p.m. So it's the same shit.
And they never
All of
ruled
them
out
had
one of the
alibi.
McCain guys.
Hmm.
They never ruled out one of the McCain guys.
Mm.
He was on the bridge at that time.
And no, you couldn't rule them out because both Brad Holder and Patrick Westphal never had search warrants served on them. Ever.
For where they were at the time of the crime.
And contrary to popular belief, Patrick Westphal did not take a polygraph. I don't know why he's running around the internet saying he took a 4.5 hour polygraph, but my man did not take a polygraph. Jerry Holman himself said he would not cooperate. Like nada, nothing, zilch.
The defense projected this well, even though this person has an alibi. Maybe it was a situation where he's directing other people to do it. Just none of that matched up. We couldn't tie them to the crime scene. Couldn't tie them to Delphi at the time of the
Maybe
crime.
that's because you didn't test hardly any of the fucking DNA evidence.
Yup.
They had alibis. I'm trying to think what else. There's just nothing. We could not have charged them. You could not have gotten probable cause that they were even on the trails that day or in the county of Carroll that day.
Okay. Fair enough. And so when
In the county, except the guy like telling you he was at home and he lives in Delphi. Okay.
people say, did you investigate? Did you investigate Odinism? All of
Yes.
these
Look
people.
at her fucking smart.
Thousands of man hours and law enforcement hours to investigate it because that was the right thing to do.
Okay.
What about there's a moment in in an interview, and I'm not sure if law enforcement did the interview, where where he says something to the effect of, well, what if some of my spit shows up on one
Elvis Fields. Thank you.
He doesn't even know who the fuck he's talking about.
Yeah.
Dumbass.
of the victims, right? Oh, people use that as strong evidence that somehow that means that this person would have been at the crime scene because they presumed or they made the assumption that their saliva would be on one of the victims. Could you maybe explain how and why, or could you maybe explain?
Could you explain
that,
how and why you look so
to
stupid
the
with that
viewers a
fucking
little
thing
bit
sticking out of your
about-
ear?
Can you just explain life
Was
to
this
me?
tip investigated?
It was Elvis Fields is the one that said that, and he said it to
Right.
ISP Trooper Murphy as Murphy's dropping him off at his house, and we investigated it. We
How did you investigate that? I need a list, step by step.
They thought about it and then thought,
Interview.
nah.
Yeah.
Elvis several times. He was interviewed, I think, 3 or 4 times, and one of those interviews was about 4 hours long. We talked to Trooper Murphy. Obviously, I had several conversations with Trooper Murphy about it, and I don't want to put words in Trooper Murphy's mouth. And
There was no search warrant, right? Or they did do a search warrant on Elvis because that's when they saw like a bunch of pill bottles.
I
can't
don't remember. I just remembered they interviewed his sisters.
Yeah. Maybe that's when he saw the pill bottles when he was interviewing the sister. I can't remember if they actually did a search warrant on Elvis. I don't know. Let us know in the chat.
I don't want to say something he doesn't mean. So, I mean, he'd be the best source. But my recollection is he thought Elvis was just messing with him, and he didn't believe what Elvis said. And Elvis was,
So that's all it takes.
I
is
guess,
for you
born
not to
and
believe
raised or
something.
hometown Rushville.
Is what?
That's all it takes is for one person to say, I don't believe it, and then you're no longer a suspect.
Yep. And no search warrant. Okay. Thank you.
guy didn't have a lot of life.
Exactly. None of these suspects that arguably have way more circumstantial evidence than Rick Allen, none of them had search warrants or like, I believe they did take Logan and Brad Holder's phones, right? That's what they say, but then they like miraculously lost Logan's cell phone information, which I find extremely interesting.
They miraculously lost a lot of things.
Yeah.
That was
And
his specialty.
they don't have Brad's shit either. Or like Brad like threw out his phone and sold his car right after the murders anyway. So
Experience. And so, I don't think Trooper Murphy put a lot of weight into it, but we did investigate. We interviewed.
Brad Holder pulled a fucking Brian Higgins. Did you follow Karen Reed?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Pulled a Brian Higgins and threw that shit out.
Elvis several times. Everything in the Franks memo is an investigation that we did. The defense didn't go out and conduct their own investigation. So they have 136 pages of investigation that we did. And
yeah, you make fun of them for it all the time.
None
for bringing it
of those
up.
people were the people. They just weren't. I don't know how much clearer to say it. If there were other people involved, the only person that knows that at this point is Richard Allen.
And when we refer to the Franks memo, for those listening that might not understand, the Franks memo is what came out before the trial, showing the defense's defense, the defense of Richard Allen. And as you point out, what they did is they took past investigations of the prosecution, of law enforcement, to say, hey, there are these other ideas. And you're right, they didn't go out and do their own investigation. They took your investigation.
True, Amber. True. Brian Higgins pulled a Brad Holder. Technically speaking, in time.
And said, maybe, possibly Odinism, Elvis Fields, all these different things to sort of, I'm going to say it, not you, confuse the public. Bring out some things about the investigation that we did not know. But as you pointed out, even though we didn't know about it, doesn't mean that you weren't doing the investigation and dotting your I's, crossing your T's, and moving on. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And, they even had an opportunity at a 3-day hearing before the trial, to present their best case about why Odinism should be allowed to be brought up in the trial. And they did not meet their burden. And so you can't even meet the burden there. The burden for a conviction is higher than that. And so we investigated it.
God, I hate this guy so much. He's just so wrong on so many levels. Like, they couldn't bring it up because fucking Judge Gold wouldn't let them bring it up. And every time she'd try to drop little hints and fucking have you try to exclude shit all the time. It's like, you're the reason why they couldn't bring it up.
And they did get the right. What did this say? Baldwin said there were several search warrants granted but never executed. That's right. I remember that now.
They probably just went and knocked on his door, and they're like, "Oh, not home. See you later."
Yeah, in 2023, they could have gotten a Holder in Westfall's phones, but Westfall had like a 1-day-old phone when this went down in 2023. So
it's not it.
Very useful.
That's not it.
Well, so that did upset a lot of people when Judge Gold said, yeah, no, you didn't meet your burden of proof, the nexus, which, as people pointed out, I'm not in law.
I literally hate the word nexus now.
Yeah, me too. And the way they use it too, it's so frustrating.
Like what?
So help me out here. The nexus isn't as extreme as probable cause necessarily, but it's a nexus, it's a connection.
Okay.
Can you help explain why this third party didn't meet a nexus? The Judge Gold would have said, yeah, no, we can't bring this up because this has upset people, that it could. And look, I've already talked about on our channel. I don't see a nexus either, but I mean, again, I'm not the prosecutor here. I'm not a lawyer. Anything you can suggest or offer to help us understand the judge's decision there a little bit more?
A lot of these things are based in common sense. You didn't see a nexus, right? When you observe the evidence, we as lawyers, as the prosecutorial team, didn't see it.
Even Lexus rouses my ire now. Lexus.
Nexus. You couldn't tie anybody involved with Odinism to the scene of the crime. You couldn't tie them.
I hate that term. I hate the term bootlicker. Like, oh, it's giving Gen X, guys.
It does give Gen X.
To Delphi at the time of the crime. You couldn't tie them to the girls in any way. There was nothing. And I'm not saying you have to have those things, but you
Somebody
have to
has
have
the username Dr. John PhD. Dr. John PhD in the chat.
Well, I don't know. That's a troll. Yeah. That's a very known Dr. John troll. What up?
something. And so they didn't have it. And so it's common sense. If you can't make that connection, then that evidence doesn't come
Hi,
in.
me.
And I guess to me, it's as clear as that.
And a nexus is not as strong. Oh, go ahead, John.
Yeah, no, I just want to point out too. I want to get back to I hear about Elvis Fields all the time as how strong evidence that was when he talked to you guys, and I want to reiterate what you said earlier.
We still love you.
And that's fine. That's beautiful. I also love Bryan Adams.
Nick, in terms of I think sometimes people don't understand that during interviews, suspects that may not have the best history with law enforcement tend to be a little rebellious. They're going to say provocative things, right? And you have to, when somebody makes a comment about spitting on a victim, you have to look at the context.
What about somebody who never made a comment about killing any girls at all, ever? What about somebody who never had weird search history? What about somebody who wasn't a pedophile? What about somebody who didn't do any of that stuff? What about that?
How might one find different context in spitting on young girls? Really? Yeah, you got to look at the context here. How must one spin that for there to be an explanation of, hey, if my spit's on the two dead girls? Like, can we please be serious? Jesus Christ.
And you have to look at their motivation, right? And so I think, like, many times people lose the context and they take a statement like that quite literally. When in fact, as you point out,
he was just rhetorically spitting on the girl.
The trooper said,
yeah. What if I just said it, but I said it?
That he was messing with them, right? And that's important to know, that not everything someone says, as you point out, the trooper said that he was messing with them, right? And that's important to know, that not everything someone says is literally true or accurate. It depends on the context of the interview.
Richard Allen said he was going to the trails, but he didn't tell Kathy Allen that he stepped on the bridge, and then they wanted to switch that around too and twist his words against him. Then
I went to McDonald's.
Yes.
You didn't tell me you went to the drive-through
yes.
of McDonald's. Exactly. It explains everything.
Yes.
And the goals and motivations of the interviewee, right? And I think sometimes people get confused by that, and they'll latch onto a comment or an observation that supports their argument, but it's taken out of context.
Yeah, I mean, that's human nature. A lot of times we pick out the things that support our stance on an issue.
Like Dr. John
and
does.
we'll latch onto those and
Yeah. What about Libby's dad being someone directly connected to meth manufacturing, selling, using, snitching? Correct.
Oh, that doesn't matter. They looked into it.
How about the fact that Libby was obviously the more brutal death?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they did that for a reason. The difference between the two girls is like dramatic. So why, right? And one would argue that the easiest explanation would be that her father had just gotten caught up being a snitch for the cops. Because we now have, was it Tony Liggett's deposition? Whose was it where we found out?
I don't know.
I forgot.
We'll focus on those, and those become the foundation of our argument. And we'll engross ourselves in that because it supports our argument. And a lot of people get tunnel vision in that respect and say, well, this is the key, this is a smoking gun. This is the key piece of evidence.
Self-awareness
You've got to
is
look
not
at
in the fucking room with us.
And you can't view things in a vacuum. And so it's not uncommon for, let's just be honest, pro-defense people are going to latch onto that. Pro-Richard Allen people are going to latch onto that because that's something that's a piece of evidence they can latch onto. They're going to ignore.
Before this case, I was never pro-defense or never pro-Richard Allen. I was pro getting justice in Delphi. And then, you know what? I tuned into the fucking trial and my world got shook upside down and I questioned everything about the fucking legal system and the justice system. I was never pro-defense. I never wanted to hang on. I wanted to believe that he did it. I still want to believe that. I mean, not really. I mean, but like I could sleep so much better at night if I just knew one fact that would tie him there and prove that he did it. I could sleep so much better at night. Do you think we fucking like doing this? Do you think we like knowing that there's an innocent man rotting in prison? No. It's fucking wild that he thinks people are just out here being pro-defense just for no fucking reason.
Right. Just like because they want to be on the conspiracy theory side of things or something, which granted there are those people, but that ain't us. You know? Like the movement is so strong behind this individual case and this man because it is so blatantly fucking obvious that they railroaded him.
And in any movement I've ever seen, like it has nothing to do with him. It has nothing to do with Richard Allen. It has nothing to do with him, his personality, or what he likes, his politics, what he has to say. It's the fact that he could be any one of us. Any one of us trying to do the right thing and being a little fucking weird. Any one of us.
Yep. And being like naive as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Confessions. They're going to ignore the fact that he's on the trail that day. They're going to ignore the bullets tied. They're going to ignore all those.
No, yeah, that's all you say because that's all you've got. Let's hear that again.
And so it's not uncommon for, let's just be honest, pro-defense people are going to latch onto that. Pro-Richard Allen people are going to latch onto that because that's something that's a piece of evidence they can latch onto. They're going to ignore the confessions. They're going to
the confessions that didn't come until he was 5.5 months into solitary confinement.
And he looks like a fucking raccoon beat the fuck up.
And he's in psychosis so bad that he's smashing his head against the wall.
Taking antipsychotics, shit. Yeah.
But those are reliable confessions, right? Okay, got it.
Don't ignore the fact that he's on the trail that day. They're going to
as were many people.
Yeah, and they ignored all that. They ignored that Dan McCain was there. They ignored, or whatever fucking McCain. They ignored all that.
They ignore the fact that they very clearly know that the person Betsy Blair saw was Daniel Pearson.
They ignored the hair wrapped around fucking one of the girls' fingers. They're currently still ignoring the DNA on the girl's private parts.
Mm-hmm. Never even sent in suspected semen to test to validify if it was actually semen.
Yeah.
Or whether it was, like not there, not present.
Just initial testing, that's all they need.
Crazy.
Ignore the bullets tied. They're going to ignore all those things and just latch on to this, when there's no other evidence to back up that statement besides that statement. There's no evidence to place Elvis Fields here at the time. There's no evidence to place him in Carroll County at the time. There's no DNA evidence at the scene to place him there. There's no.
That's because his phone was off from around 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. ish, something that entire day.
Why besides not looking very nice, I wonder why they never brought up Kelsey as a third-party suspect since her DNA was at the scene of the crime.
Because it's too easy to explain away familial DNA being present on a victim.
Yeah.
Because the clothing they wear, they live in the same space. It's very easily explainable. That's kind of why it's hard. That's like the only hang up sometimes when it's like spouse on spouse murders is the fact that they live together. So of course their DNA is going to be all over.
Yeah.
Connection or tie to the scene to place him there. But of course they're going to latch onto that because that's good for their cause. And so I've heard the same thing that you have. I don't understand it. I think you're correct. You have to take things into context. You got to look at the interview that he did before that. You got to look at the conversation he had with the truth. You have to take everything together, and you can't just single out one little. Now, the defense did that a lot in a lot of their motions. They would take a statement or a deposition, pull out one line of that deposition because it supported their cause. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but when you look at things in the totality, you can see that their statement really doesn't support what they're saying.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that.
Yeah,
psychologists call that confirmation bias, by the way, that taking evidence that supports your view, looking for things to confirm your perspective and not to deny it or not to challenge it. And confirmation bias is often thought of as sort of the Mount Everest of conspiracy theories or what it's a bias
of that deposition because it supported their cause.
Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. I just want you to pay extra special attention to this part because this part I actually have seen.
And I'm not saying that's wrong, but when you look at things in the totality, you can see that their statement really doesn't support what they're saying.
Yeah. Thank you for clarifying that. Yeah, psychologists call that confirmation bias, by the way, that taking evidence that supports your view, looking for things to confirm your perspective and not to deny it or not to challenge it. And confirmation bias is often thought of as sort of the Mount Everest of conspiracy theories or
What?
He's actually fucking ridiculous.
What? Confirmation bias is the Mount Everest of conspiracy theories.
If you would compare, oh my God, and he's supposed to be a psychologist, if anything, you would say confirmation bias fuels conspiracy theories. Not confirmation bias is a mount. That doesn't even make any sense. Those aren't even the fucking right nouns and pronouns that go together. Jesus fucking Christ. Idiot.
Hashtag Mount Everest of conspiracy theories.
Jesus.
It's a bias that often supports conspiracy theories. Because it will support. It's a bias that often supports conspiracy theories because it will support whatever the theory is.
Yeah.
But I will say this.
Yeah.
Did you see the thing I posted on Twitter today?
What he said? No.
About Dr. John?
No.
Hang on. Listen to what he said. Listen to what he says. Actual fucking joke.
There's research showing that revenge is an addictive that it's in many ways the desire for revenge is more addictive than all the drugs you can imagine that are addictive.
Real Rich comes up. Revenge is addictive like. It's more addictive than any of the drugs that are addictive.
Revenge is more addictive than heroin.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Anyway,
You
sorry.
think fentanyl's bad? Have you heard?
And it's like your
Have
wife
you
is,
heard about a friend's revenge?
and he's posting this while his wife is literally addicted to striking people. She's literally addicted to revenge. It's like, where's the fucking awareness here?
Oh my god.
It's wild.
Two, if we're talking confirmation bias, Odinism was investigated by law enforcement in.
Somebody that came... Sorry.
What?
It was a part of the Franks memo, and it did deserve our attention. I think when I read the Franks memo, I was very interested into. I also think it's fair that, look, there was a gag order. There was a hidden probable cause. I know you got a lot of flack for that. I'm going to ask you about that after the arrest. You chose to keep that probable cause sealed. Mm-hmm. So I do have empathy for all of us that read the Franks memo and tried to understand and make sense.
She has empathy for all of us.
What was going on?
Herself. Make it make sense. Why does she have empathy for herself?
Because it gave us information.
You're muted.
God damn it.
Information we didn't have before. So I want to say I understand why it got so much attention. I do want to share that.
Let's be honest, that was the point of it, right? That was the point of it from the defense's standpoint, to be I guess, a way for them to tell the public their theory, to get around the gag order, to be kind of a public announcement. Here's our theory, and here's all the details of the crime, to push in.
Here's our theory that we investigated, that I was just telling you I investigated. But here's our defense's theory.
All I says, Lauren and John are whitewashing one of the dirtiest investigations. It's incredible how much factually incorrect dumb shit they are legitimatizing. Isn't that so true? So true.
Beautifully worded.
Facts on facts.
Facts. She also was raised in a cult, so she probably understands that aspect of the Franks memo more than she wants to admit. Very true. Very true.
Narrative out to the public when we couldn't. And so, let's be honest, that's what it was for.
Yeah. And we're jumping ahead. You did accuse the defense of breaking the gag order.
You mean when we had the contempt hearing?
Yeah.
That was because of the crime scene.
Zaddy? What happened?
Let's be honest, that's what it was for. Yeah. And we're jumping ahead.
Zaddy?
You did accuse the defense of breaking the gag order.
You mean when we had the contempt hearing?
Yeah.
That was because of the crime scene photos.
We'll get to that. Or we can talk about that.
I do think that they used the Franks memo to get around the gag order. I think that was the point of it, to get a portion of the public on their side, if you will, or be a kind of a PR release for them. People may not agree with me. The defense will not agree with me. That's just my opinion for what it's worth. The contempt was more because the crime was not more. It was because the crime scene photos were released, and the state thought it was intentional by the defense.
So when you say that, Nick, does that sort of implies that maybe they weren't playing fair? How would you see that? Do you think it was a fair playing field? Do you think that was
it wasn't
a fair motion? I mean, I agree with Lauren that at some point I think the Odinist theory probably needed to be investigated or made public at some point.
I think it was a fair motion.
Agreeable.
I guess the context of the motion or what is offensive. I don't know that you need for a Franks motion and memo. I'm not sure that you need to put all that. Well, I don't think you need to put all that stuff in there to release to the public. I was pretty strong about, and again, I'll be honest, you're right, I did catch a lot of flack. I was pretty strong in my belief that everything in this case should be kept quiet until the trial. I was really concerned about the opportunity to get a fair jury and not taint the jury pool. This is a statewide, nationwide, worldwide case, and I was really concerned that we were going to have difficulty getting a jury, and I really didn't think it was appropriate to put evidence out into the public until after the trial. I just had really, really strong convictions about that. And so the fact that
Really
a lot of the
strong
evidence,
convictions.
specific
Really strong.
details about the crime scene, all those things came out, that was offensive. I don't think a Frank's motion is
This
inappropriate.
motherfucker has
I think you have to, as a
room
defense
to
attorney,
be offended at all. None. He's the most offensive thing about this case.
Besides Sherry Holman.
Yeah, and Gull.
Oh yeah, and her.
to do everything you can do to defend your client. The contents of it, to me, is what was offensive.
Fair enough.
Gull reminds me of like Gandalf in is it Gandalf in Harry Potter? Is that his name?
Gandalf was in Lord of the Rings, I think.
Who's the one? Who's the
Hagrid?
old dude? No, the older guy that like was the lead.
The evil guy? Snake?
No, he was like the
Oh.
lead wizard guy. Hold on.
Oh,
Help! Help!
yeah, I don't know.
Dumbledore!
Oh.
Dumbledore! We got it.
Going
Right,
back
and-
to, oh, go ahead, John.
And trying, as you point out, trying to get around the gag order and to some degree sway public opinion in advance of the trial.
That is true. The truth is often
That's
offensive.
my opinion.
You know, fucking shit hurts. Truth hurts. You're muted.
I was laughing at the ADHD at the
Mm.
same time as being muted. How good.
That's what I thought. A lot of that was for. Again,
I agree.
that's just my opinion.
I agree.
I,
It's my opinion too. I'll throw my opinion out. Yeah.
nobody's
No one
going to agree
cares.
with me. The defense is probably
I think
going to
it's
not
the
agree.
defenses.
Huh?
I said no one cares.
Oh.
Sorry, I just can't keep my mouth shut whenever she talks.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I think it's the defense's opinion. I think the defense would agree with us that that was what they were trying to do.
I don't think they'll say that publicly. If that's true.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Don't wait for that.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think, in terms of the Frank motion, the motion to suppress, I think those are all valid things they should have done. I think those are good defense tactics. I think it's, when you've got bad evidence against your client, the thing to do is to try to get that evidence out, get it out of the trial, and to try to suppress the confessions, the search of the house where we find the gun. Those are all good defense strategies. Those are things I would have done.
Just like they're
Right.
trying to get
I
out
just
all
would
the
have drafted the
third-party
motions different.
conspiracy stuff.
If anything is going to win the appeal, it's going to be
Yeah,
the third party stuff.
I really do think so. When is that
I
due?
hope.
Soon? No, December what?
They had 30 days after,
Yeah, it was like the 11th or something.
and it happened on the 10th.
Was it? Yeah. Okay. Somebody will put it in the chat.
7, 14, 21, 28, 29, 30. December 10th, December 11th. Ooh, December 11th is my son's birthday.
Nice.
Nice.
That'd be a good birthday present.
Yeah.
that goes back to, but I want to put a pin in John's comment. Well, no, let's just. So, did they play fair? Did the defense play fair? Let's ask it now.
I
You
think
can
that
play fair.
depends who you ask, and I think that
Excuse you? Did the defense play fair? They didn't
were
even get to
literally-
play at all.
Yeah, they were on the ground while you were kicking them.
Yeah, what? They were getting straight bullied. What are you talking about?
My comments about what they've put in there kind of tell you where I'm at. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. And
I'll leave it
I
at
still
that.
want to get into Richard Allen's arrest. So we've jumped way ahead. We're not going in order anymore, but I can't leave this contempt hearing alone. And what you just said, that you absolutely believe that the defense released crime scene photos of little girls at their murder scene on purpose.
Which I don't know.
I mean, if
you
it wasn't on purpose,
been
it was definitely
keeping up with Andy's shit, but she's provided a lot of compelling evidence that it might have been Holman that leaked those photos to the murder sheets, and it might have not been the fucking defense at all, and there might have been somebody that unalived themselves for no reason at all. And they provided them with a lot of guilt.
Mm-hmm. Tell him.
Yeah.
And the same man's whose business card was found on the dead body of the Mr.
Unalived
Robert
person.
Fortson, who
Mhm.
unalived himself.
Yeah, he unalived himself due to guilt of these photos being released. And then now these smug motherfuckers are all sitting here laughing about it whenever it was very likely possibly their side that leaked them.
I think
Andy
it's
has been great.
yeah,
on that.
Andy's been amazing. I think it's so important that be talked about more. Importantly, the fact that a man literally killed himself, unalived himself, Robert Fortson,
And
after being interrogated at his home by Jerry Holman.
we saw how Jerry Holman treated Rick in that interview. We saw. He said, "It's going to be on you, Rick. It's going to be on you." Remember?
And it was heavily edited.
Yeah. Think about what he said to fucking Fortson.
negligent to leave those things out and to allow somebody that you think is at first is a trusted confidant, and then they snookered you is the word that they used. I don't. What I can say is I don't know that we have the full truth of what happened.
I can say that too.
Again, people will disagree with me. That's my opinion.
I can say that too.
Well, the victim's family, Becky Patty agrees with you, and that matters.
Yeah.
And
ALSIX fan. I didn't do that. YouTube is being weird. I have no idea why it does that now, but some chats it's our like username, and then in other ones it's like the actual written out tag. So I don't know what's going on with it.
Me either. I made mine both.
they're heartbroken over it.
Say it again.
I made mine both the same, so I wouldn't have to worry about it.
Yeah. I don't want YouTube to keep showing my little
I mean,
my little side videos I watch. They're busting me out.
it's offensive. They got those sent to them like I did, and said, "Hey, do you know these are out there?" There's no warning. There's no, "Hey, this is going to be tough to see." Hey, this is your loved one, daughter, granddaughter, in her most vulnerable moment that you could ever imagine. And there's no preparation for that. And once it gets on the internet, you can scrub as much as you want. It's going to be out there. It's just going to be. And I think Becky Patty said it best when she said it's multi-generational. You never know which member of which family is going to click on something 10 years down the road, and that image is going to pop up. And so that goes back to the bittersweetness of things getting released, because I think in a fashion, at least for me, it causes me to relive the investigation, the trial, and I can't imagine what it does for the families.
Yeah. And I want to say the response to the defense because of negligence, because of, let's say it was negligence, best case scenario, right? Leaving crime scene photos out on their desk of little girls.
And she has a lot of room to fucking talk whenever she's fucking buying fucking ramen for Lori Vallow. And she's like, oh, the defense, their ethics and this and that.
Tell them.
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit.
Yep. So she's like encouraging buying.
And she's been in the process of this leaking information before. So she's like, the defense, they think that the defense leaked this information. So they're talking down to them whenever they've been in this process of leaked information before in other cases, and they're talking about it like there's some kind of fucking.
They literally leaked Lori's mental health, like a major HIPAA violation.
Yeah.
In
And
the
he's a fucking
Lori
psychologist.
Daybell case. Yeah. That she got from like nefarious means too. Like it was like that information was stolen almost because it was shared with like a confidant.
That were murdered. So let's give it best case scenario and say it was negligence. They were very indifferent in discussing this and not apologizing at the hearing. I want to point out, and the victims' families made it very clear in their victim impact statements how upsetting this was. So whatever you believe, Nick, or whatever we believe, I think what matters most is how the victims' families believe and the response that the defense has given. Of course, they seemed a lot more apologetic on national television, but not in the hearing.
Sure.
I'll just say.
Yeah.
John, do you have any more questions, or can we jump back to Richard Allen?
In terms of the leaked crime scene photos, I think it's an interesting question to ask. Is there a purpose?
Her Stanley triggers me. I hate it. Oh, what happened to Emily? She went bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hold on, y'all. All right, while we wait.
Right. Does the defense gain something by doing that? Right. And that, to me, that's a critical question.
Yeah, I mean, that's a question. I think you're right. I think you hit the nail on the head. That's a critical question. If it was on purpose, why did they do it? And I don't have an answer to that question. And that's why I can't tell you it was on purpose. At a very minimum, I think it was negligence. But what is I think the defense is.
I can't tell you it was on purpose. That's because you guys did it. It's because y'all fucking did it.
Retorted a lot, like, what is our point in doing that? Why would we do that? And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I have a motive. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I'm on my phone now. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
It goes with what they wrote about Odinism in the Franks memo. I find it ironic that the very photos that were released are the photos they describe in the Franks memo.
You may be right. You'd have to ask them and hope that they gave you a candid answer.
Yeah, I mean, what does she think they did? Reposition their bodies and then take new photos? They're the same photos. The girls were laying there dead. I mean, what the fuck? What other photos could there be?
Lying liars who lie. Yes.
What my husband thinks of that, but co-host, excuse me, whatever you are. All the
Whatever you are.
Yeah.
the
Bane of my existence.
psychologist on the other side.
Please leave me. Please take my child and run away.
Since I don't want to get in trouble here, I'll accept your answer.
Manny.
I liked your answer. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting that the photos that were leaked seem to fit precisely their theory of the crime. So was that just an accident?
According to them,
Right.
they were betrayed by a friend, and that's the explanation. And so,
Right. Right.
Maybe because
And look,
that's the
that just
truth of what happened.
makes me angry too that they be victims. According to me, they betrayed the victims' families because they left them out on the desk for their friend to betray them. So don't pass the buck on that one. Sorry. It makes me
What?
very angry.
What? It makes me very angry. Shut the fuck up. What, you don't
Pass
even.
the
Yeah,
buck on
she's
that
got a lot
one.
of room to
Sorry.
talk.
It makes me very angry.
You're all rude.
well, I'd ask you
You wear victims like a skin suit, bitch. Shut up.
to think about this question. Had I done that, had the state of Indiana done that, what would have been the fallout?
Well, I would be very
Absolutely
angry at you
nothing.
right now too. So
Literally, you guys did a million horrible, terrible things that you did not see punishment for. So I would say losing the most important, crucial interviews in the first 70 days of the investigation
With no
Is it-
consequences.
is a pretty big deal. One might argue you might not be able to even proceed to a trial with something like that. But not here in Delphi.
No consequences for that. No consequences for any of the missteps that happened in this investigation. It's just
Mhm.
okay.
yeah, I want you to know that
It would
yeah,
be
exactly.
the
And the
fallout
fallout.
would be immense. It would be immense with possible, I would assume, with possible legal implications, right? Yeah.
I think John's right. I mean,
Legal. Yeah.
I think if the, and I'm not sure how much of this you should air, but I think if the shoe were on the other foot, I think that the repercussions would be vast, and I think they would be quick.
Yeah, right.
You suck milk from the teat of Frangol. What are you talking about? She would. Oh, no, Nick, do it again. Do it again.
Could you imagine the dry powder that comes out of that teat?
Oh my.
And I think it would include me off the case, possible lossage of license. I think it would be different. Is all I'm. And I would ask you to consider that and think about that. But I think John's right.
Maybe if it was
And that, yeah.
on the other
fair-
foot, then the defense would have won the crime con award.
Really too. I do. Those type of things should be protected. Absolutely.
Mhm.
At all costs. They should never, ever be leaked. Yeah, even if it was negligence. So
Like
back
the mental health
to the
history.
arrest.
Say it again.
Like the mental health history.
Oh, yeah.
Of Richard Allen. All of these investigations, and I do want to say you did investigate a lot of leads. You were sort of known for that, like that I've heard. Like
You were known for that? He was known for this? I think
Just-
it's different.
you said to investigate everything. That was sort of your theory, minus the aliens. But
Yeah, the thing I would commonly say is if it has legs, run with it, and that would just.
No, ma'am, I actually did try to investigate illegal aliens. I called ICE.
I tried to
up.
pin this on so many illegal aliens.
I called my
I couldn't
family
even keep them
members.
all straight. I couldn't tell a Gonzalez from a. This guy is so fucking retarded.
My brother, who's in
Yeah.
ICE.
Sorry for saying the R word.
Kind of a saying that
I'm a millennial.
became,
I'm
synonymous
trying.
with
Yeah.
me in meetings, and I would say, go talk to the person. What's it going to take? An hour, 2 hours? It's not worth not doing. Let's go do it.
so, where does Richard Allen come in? Then it's
Ew.
2002. This,
When I laugh at Jigsaw, I mean the actual Jigsaw from the movie Saw, because that's a funny doll. That's all I mean.
not
Or sorry,
2002.
2022.
Not 2002.
22. Yes.
That's what I meant to say. 2022. And today's Friday, right? And we're in March.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay.
I wish we could go back to 2002 because I'd like to redo a few things, but I wish we.
Like your marriage? When did they get married?
I don't think that long ago because I watched their stupid marriage video where she was wearing that weird crown.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
Had a time machine, so
Yeah.
it sounds good,
Yeah.
but yeah,
But I just feel like anything Mormon is weird.
Same.
But
2020.
the aliens, it was 2002, and there was a time machine, and we can go there. So 2022, Richard Allen. How does this suspect come, and where do you find out about him, and where do we go from there?
I'm sure you've heard the story. It's been told several times. Kathy Shank, she's really kind of an unsung hero here. People forget she was doing this all voluntarily. We weren't paying her. We weren't, giving her benefits, nothing. She was just doing it voluntarily. And a lot of times she would bring with her food and snacks and everything for all of us during the meetings. She was the quintessential grandmother of the group. I mean, she would just take care of us. And she found the tips. She was going through a box.
Do you remember that time whenever Lauren made fun of the victims' families for bringing donuts to the people waiting in line?
I'm so confused by that story because I've been hearing it told, but someone else had brought donuts. I believe it was yes, Betty Patty, or what's her name? Becky Patty had been, but I think one of the Richard Allen people had brought the donuts. And that's the ones where they were saying they thought those were poisoned.
Yeah, likely story.
Yeah, I believe that's the correct story. But
And refiling and just organizing things as she commonly did. And she came across something that.
And honestly, it depends on the free Richard Allen person.
Oh yeah, that's true. Sometimes I forget there's a whole
99% of us would not do that. 99%.
She hadn't seen before, and she came across a suspect that was on the trail that day, and she hadn't known about this guy. And so she took it to Tony Liggett. Tony Liggett called.
You're muted.
Yeah, there was something to do with the banana bread or something, banana pancakes, whatever it was that they had brought to make a reference to that because they had that for breakfast that day or something, I believe. So weird.
Steve Mullen and I mean, it was pretty quick and said, hey, we got this, holy cow, this may be the missing piece. And we just ran with it, went and talked to him immediately. Made sure the information on the tip was still current and accurate. Then got a search warrant for his house. All right. Sent the stuff off to the lab. The gun came back, and then we went from there. So it's not really a secret. Everybody knows the story, how it happened. So God bless her, and thank God for her, because we may not be here today, but for her.
So I'm just gonna, because I didn't really kind of drown that out.
And so she took it to Tony Liggett. Tony Liggett called, came across a suspect that was on the trail. We weren't paying her. We weren't, giving her benefits, nothing. She was just doing it voluntarily. And a lot of times she would bring with her food and snacks and everything for all of us during the meetings. She was the quintessential grandmother of the group. I mean, she would just take care of us. And she found the tips. She was going through a box and refiling and just organizing things as she commonly did. And she came across something that she hadn't seen before.
But she had printed that tip in 2019.
Yep.
So what happened?
And then the tip was cleared too.
It cleared it.
That was on the trail that day, and she hadn't known about this guy. And so she took it to Tony Liggett. Tony Liggett called Steve Mullen and I mean, it was pretty quick and said, hey, we got this, holy cow, this may be the missing piece. and we just ran with it. Went and talked to him immediately.
Boy, fucking did ya. You fucking ran with it.
Every time I hear Kathy Shank's name, I just think of Hella saying, "She'll eat your lunch. She'll eat your lunch." You remember that?
Every time I see Kathy Shank's face, I'm like, I can see it on her face that she does not want the attention because she knows she didn't do shit.
You remember her
Yeah.
daughter coming to Twitter?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good times.
To defend like Ron Logan's honor. Because whether he was BG or not, he was an abusive, weird fucking piece of shit. So
made sure the information on the tip was still current and accurate, then got a search warrant for his house, sent the stuff off to the lab, the gun came back, and then
the gun came back and
Paid the person off at the lab.
Yeah, the gun came back and nothing was matching, so we shot it through the gun, and then it kind of matched.
It
So
still didn't
then-
match, but we paid somebody to say it matched.
Right, and then we took it to a computer and we typed up that's a sufficient match, and then there you go, it matched.
And then we found it. We gave it to a lady, and she's never been wrong before. So
Yeah,
so we gave it to her because we knew she'd double down.
and that's science.
Yeah,
there.
that's
So
science, baby.
it's not really a secret. Everybody knows the story, how it happened. So, God bless her and thank God for her, because we may not be here today, but for her. It wasn't, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
It wasn't, there's this common theme out there that it's because it was misfiled under Richard Allen Whiteman. That's not the case. Somebody wrote cleared on the tip. We don't know who. It was on the bottom of the tip sheet. And I think that's why, I don't know, because I don't know when it got misfiled or how it got misfiled. I wasn't there, but that's why we believe that it got filed in the cleared section, because somebody had written that on there. So nobody did any further investigation on it. Until
that's
she
science,
came across
basically
it
a
in 2022
paternity
and
test.
said, look,
Yep.
nobody,
Maternity,
I don't know
maternity.
the
Maternity,
further investigation on this guy.
fraternity.
I don't recognize the name. We need to look into this.
When did you realize this really is the guy, though? I mean, where do you start hearing about him, and when did you think this?
His face.
He's like, I'm
Oh,
still not convinced.
No, never.
Really is?
Gee, I have to think of a reason.
Fraternity test.
You got to realize by 2022, I'd been in this since January of 18. And by 2022, I was probably the devil's advocate of the group and very skeptical and saying, okay, I wasn't going to ride that roller coaster.
Nick passed that test with flying colors. The fraternity test. Look at him. That's a hairline
Again,
of
prove it to me, prove it to me,
regret.
prove it to me. And so it probably hit home for me. Well, I know it hit home for me when we got the lab results back for the firearm, because I'll never forget where I was at that day, what I was doing. You have those moments.
I'll never forget where I was that day, what I was doing when they told me I'm gonna have to lie for the rest of my life.
Yeah, whenever they told me I'd have to die with this secret or lose my career.
Damn.
In your life, my grandpa still talks about, he knows where he was at and what he was doing the day JFK was assassinated. You just have those big moments in your life where you're never going to get, when your first child's born, all those kind of things. And I'll just never forget where I was at or what I was doing when I got the phone call. So that for me was when it really hit. And for me, it was like, okay, this is the guy.
Well,
Yeah.
Nick, you can't throw that out there without telling us the full story. So where were you and what were you doing?
Well, I was with my girls. It was fall
Okay.
break of 2022. It was in October of 2022, and that's when they have
Okay.
fall break for the school. My girls are young at the time. You're gonna throw them into the bus here. At the time, I think they were 4 and 5 or 5 and 6. They're only about 13. They're only 13 months apart. And
What about the second child? They're only 13 months apart, DB. Do you know something we don't know?
Does he have a third child in the middle?
Are they the same baby mama? Because I have no respect for a man that does not let a woman's hoo-ha heel. Like 6 weeks, buddy. Back it up.
Yeah.
I am in. Never mind. I'm not going to say that.
We were on fall break and we were in Tennessee at a water park, and it's a big indoor water park. And they have an indoor kind of theme park. It's this big resort that we went down in Pigeon Forge. And I remember we were in the water park. It was in the middle of the day. We were in the water park, and the phone was ringing, and it was ringing and ringing and ringing. Of course, I'm playing with them in the wave pool in the water. And I was checking my phone every hour, hour and a half, because I knew that we had gathered stuff from the house, and I knew the investigation was ongoing. And called Jerry Holman back, and he told me.
DP. Damn.
Me, so you're never going to believe this, and he told me, and I said, oh my gosh. I remember there was talks they want to fly down and get me. I said no. We ended up coming back a day early. I think I got the
Fly
call
down
on
to get
Thursday.
me?
We were supposed to come back that Sunday. We ended up coming back Saturday, actually leaving early Saturday morning, like 4 a.m, to drive back so I could get back so we could get together probable cause and get things together for the arrest. We didn't have plans to arrest him, but we wanted to interview him again after that to confirm, okay, had anybody else had your gun? Had anybody else had your bullets? Had you been out there? We wanted to make sure, and so when we interviewed him the second time, we weren't even sure we were going to arrest him, but we wanted to have everything in order in case we did. And so I know I came back a day early to be able to get a briefing on that, to start to write together some kind of PC. Again, we didn't know we were going to arrest him. If you'd have said, oh, I'd
Take
lend
the
my gun to
chopper
my
up to
brother
Nikki.
Joe. Okay, let's go interview Joe. But we wanted to be ready so that once we arrested him, you don't want to wait to draft these documents until afterwards. And so we wanted to put together everything we had. So we put together the PC from the search warrant. We added this piece into it, and then we were going to continue to add to it if we needed to. But we weren't sure.
I do not know his baby mama's name. I just know the new girlfriend's name. Or I don't know how long they've been together.
Until we talked to him, right? We had to kind of check those boxes. Had anybody else had your gun?
Like they were going to
Did you
do anything
purchase
if it
new, or
wasn't
did you
his
purchase
gun.
it off somebody?
I mean, if he let somebody borrow his gun.
I mean, everyone
They
else's
would just say that would
gun-
make him more suspicious.
Everyone else's gun, when they shot or when they ran it through and it didn't match, they moved on, except for Richard Allen's. He's the only one where they put it through, it didn't match, being unspent. So they were like, you know what? Let's fire it now.
And weren't there other people that couldn't be ruled out of the gun matching?
Correct. But theirs weren't fired through to match.
Jesus.
Funny how that works.
Somebody else. Had anybody else had your ammo? Did you buy it off somebody else, or did you purchase it new? Is there any reason you would have been out in that area, mushroom hunting, fishing?
She said, is Lauren alive there?
No, it's all botulism.
How long has her face not moved?
How long to be frozen
Hiking.
in the face?
We had to make sure, is there another explanation?
Frozen with beauty.
Because we weren't going to jump. You don't jump to a conclusion in something this serious. You've got to make sure that we have everything. And so we weren't sure we were going to arrest him until after that second interview. It was in the moment. Jerry Holman came back and said, okay, what do we do? And I said, we've got enough now.
So
And
It
you-
was
that
after the
green
interview where
alibi-
he said he
what
had
if-
enough now.
Yeah, what? You have enough now. When he said, they'd arrest me. Or prove it. I will. What are you talking about? You mean to tell me then he went to you and said, what do we do now?
Yeah, it's so pathetic. Just every time I just think about them behind the scenes, like orchestrating this shit, I'm just like, and all getting, and I don't know if you saw any documents today, but I saw fucking Jerry Holman's making $124,000 a year.
I saw it.
$124,000 a year plus overtime. to lose investigate, to fucking lose information, fucking swat people.
I saw something he took a course on retirement. Did you see that?
No, that's nice.
Yeah, it was like, what?
Yeah. I wonder if it does come out, if he'll still be eligible to get all that fucking retirement if it comes out and it gets proven that he had any hand in this.
Well, if anyone's
And-
going to sanction their ass, I hope it comes quick.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do you have enough? What was enough?
Enough probable
Like,
cause to arrest him.
So you,
Which was
you
what?
check.
Go ahead, John.
Oh, you checked the boxes on the gun. And yeah, go ahead, Lauren. What was the probable cause?
So we tied him. He was on the trails that day. The witnesses we had didn't see anybody else on the trail. We're sure we were going to arrest him until after that second interview.
He's been
It
practicing
was
those
in
3
the
points.
moment. Jerry Holman came back and said, "Okay, what do we do?" And I said, "We've got enough now."
So
And the
you-
enough
you-
meaning alibi.
you-
What did you have enough? What was enough?
Enough probable
Like,
cause to arrest him.
so you,
Which was
you
what?
check.
Go ahead, John.
Oh, you checked the boxes on the gun. And yeah, go ahead, Lauren. What was the probable cause?
So we tied him. He was on the trails that day.
We tied him. He was on the trails that day.
The witnesses we had didn't see anybody else
The witnesses we had didn't see anyone else on the trail. What they didn't see Rick either. So what do you mean?
on the trail that day.
And actually, they saw somebody else's because all of their descriptions are completely different from the others. So clearly, they were seeing different people.
The witnesses we had gave a description that matched what he was wearing that day, that he confirmed what he was wearing that day.
He said a
No,
black.
he said he was wearing multiple things. He could have been wearing multiple things that day.
He said black or blue jacket, jeans.
Okay.
You know, like half the population.
Yeah.
He was on the trails during the time the girls were abducted and murdered.
So we're several people, and you actually can't put Rick Allen there past 1:30 p.m.
And he never admitted to being there at the exact time that you guys say he did either. He said a big window.
Mm-hmm.
We had a bullet tied to his gun that I believe came from his gun. People will argue the science, but I believe in the science.
I believe. It shouldn't be something you believe or not. It's science.
People argue the science, but
Yeah.
I don't agree in science.
There was
Science
no other
can't be
explanation
argued.
how that bullet had
It's
Gotten
not
there?
necessarily science, but they say it can be, so I'm saying it is.
and so those were kind of the main things we had at the time of the arrest. We tied him to the scene. He was in Delphi at the time. He was on the trails at the time.
At what time? What time was he there? I never once saw him agree to saying he was there 2 to 3.
He matched the description of Bridge Guy, and then tying that bullet to the scene, that ties him directly to the crime. And so those are the key pillars that we had at the time.
And at this moment, did you know that the 3 girls also sort of identified him too? Like, you had all these witnesses.
Oh, they sort of
with-
identified him. That's good.
What-
They sort of identified him.
What
Oh, that's
3
nice.
girls? The 3 girls, that is 4 girls, but it's not 4 girls because when they're small, they don't count.
Yep, and that is true. $125,000 in Indiana is like $300,000 in California.
different descriptions of Bridge Guy. Fair enough. Nobody knew that they were going to be having to, share exactly what he looked like the following day after they saw him on the trail. But you have these varying descriptions of Bridge Guy. And I think for me, the most compelling were the 3 girls walking, because they were able to share each this experience together. And their descriptions were both a little bit different, but they both saw the same guy, right? And he admitted to seeing them. Like, was that kind of a moment too? Because for me, it meant a lot to me.
It did. And this is a better question for John, I guess, that I'll kind of ask you at the end here. But I think the different descriptions are
Deflection.
important. There were really 4 girls, but one of the girls was so young, we did.
Really, there were 4 girls. So this whole time we've been acting like it's 3, but it's really 4. But one of them is small and they don't count.
An interviewer. And so it gets narrowed down to 3, but there were actually
Were the 3 girls walking because they were able
He's
to
like,
share?
actually, whenever it
each-
works for me, and it sounds good that there's 3 girls, there was 3 girls. But whenever it works for me and it's 4 girls, then it was 4 girls.
this experience together, and their descriptions were both a little bit different, but they both saw the same guy, right?
Wrong.
She has no idea.
RONG. Wrong.
And he admitted to seeing them. Like, was that kind of a moment too? Because for me, it meant a lot to me.
It did. And this is a better question for John, I guess, that I'll kind of ask you at the end here. But I think the different descriptions are important. There were really 4 girls, but one of the girls was so young, we didn't interview her.
So if we didn't interview her, she didn't exist. You see? That's how this works. Okay? Okay.
And so it gets narrowed down to 3, but there were actually
It just gets narrowed down.
4 girls there. We just interviewed 3 of them because the other one was so young. We just didn't think it was going to be worth the interview.
So young, not worth counting as human life, really.
But all 3 of those girls see the same person at the same exact time. And they all 3 give a little bit different description.
Just a little. They see the same person at the same time, but they just give different descriptions of the person.
Then how are you saying it's the same person at the same time then? Explain that. How is it the same person if there's a different description?
Look,
Make it make sense.
He's really tall and he's really buff. But he's also like 5'4" and like fat.
And he's also young, and he's also old, and he's also beautiful, and he's also ugly, and he's also weird, and he's also creepy, and he's also walking with a mission, and he's also muddy and bloody.
Oh God.
Of what that person's wearing.
What about the real group of 3 girls that no one talks about?
However, their description of his demeanor is all the same. And I think it's a better question. We, as attorneys, say, witness statements sometimes are not the best evidence, because you can have 3 people see something in the exact same moment and describe it in 3 different ways. And it goes back to, I have taken a couple of classes. It goes back onto how
They're
they were
probably
raised,
the most
what
easy
their
to
beliefs
manipulate.
are, what they find important. And John, you can talk on this more than I can because you're the expert. But why do people give different descriptions of the exact same event?
I think you gave a good analysis. So yeah,
They've been manipulated?
It's memory. It's the nature of memory and its context.
I think you gave a good analysis, but really it's just I'm not actually a doctor, so I don't really want to have to explain because I don't know.
He's like, I
And it's
didn't
expectation.
look this up in all my books beforehand and get them all sitting here and highlight all the important parts for me to say. So I'm gonna just refer back to what you said.
Yeah, I agree.
It's all the things you just said, Nick. It's that our experiences are going to shape our memory and how we perceive things, and that's going to be different.
Yeah,
for everyone. And so you're right.
It's gonna be 2 completely different people. It's just gonna be different. It's just the way the cookie crumbles.
That's why eyewitness accounts are never perfect.
Yeah.
They don't have to be perfect. I mean, they were close, right? But you point out something interesting, which is something I noticed right away in the probable cause statement myself, and that was the demeanor was the same. That they all so you might have differences in terms of eyewitness accounts of what they're seeing and perceiving visually, but emotionally, they're all experiencing the same thing, which is this guy was on a mission. He was focused. He was not really noticing them. He seemed to be a little bit aggressive, right? Like that was all consistent.
Mm-hmm. And that's what stuck out to me. The other thing is when you show them a picture of a bridge guy, they say, yes, that's the guy I saw. They were all very confident about that, very clear. that's the guy I saw, along with
That's what
Betsy
they had
Blake.
been shown in the media. That's what they had been shown over and over and over and over again. Of course, that's what they thought. They were
But
manipulated.
did they say that's the guy I saw when they were confronted with Richard Allen?
They did not.
They did not. Huh. So it's funny how you have to word things a certain way to make it sound right.
And
And
somebody
Sarah
mentioned
Carmel.
in the chat too about talking about their hair pieces. It's really funny, these three, which I mean, no shade to anybody that does anything, but how these three are fighting so much their true self, their true appearance. Like there is something to be said about that, I think, some psychological. I don't know what it is, but
It's
they can't be their
And
true self.
mm.
So, they all were very adamant that's the person I saw. And so they all described them a little bit different. But I'm with John on that's what stuck out to me, the demeanor of what the three girls kind of realized. Okay, this guy, he wasn't friendly. He was on a mission. He was focused. All these kind of things that stuck out to them. That's what kind of stuck out to me.
And those things would be consistent with someone who's on that bridge for a purpose, with a purpose, right? That kind of knows where he's going and what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Not somebody who's looking at fish.
Right. But
Off
go
the
back to your
bridge.
statement, Lauren, too. I think it's important that he says, yes, I see them. That can.
Terry, his mouth area makes me uncomfortable. Can you
Which one?
Can you elaborate?
Well, we've got Nick with the creepy mustache, and then we've got Dr. John with the licking his lips incessantly. So
the lack of lips at all, the non-existence of lips here. Ooh,
or just all the
Confirms-
bullshit that comes out of his mouth. Maybe that's
what I
it.
just
All the
do. Don't
lies.
look at my Sims.
And those things would be consistent with someone
Oh my god. Okay, here we go.
who's on that bridge for a purpose, with a purpose, right? That kind of knows where he's going and what he wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's Dr. John's. It really, the Peter Griffin thing is really, I'm sorry, it's funny because it's true.
And he licks his lips like you don't even realize it. But whenever I was doing that TikTok reel earlier, I clipped their TikTok of him saying that about revenge, and I was clipping it and I added like my own commentary on it, and I was like going through it slow-mo, and he does this thing with his lips where he sticks his tongue out, and it's so fucking bizarre. And
Ew.
I just, like I said, I just noticed that because I was like trying to edit it down, and it's really bizarre. It's like a little triangle tongue that just
Ah.
comes out like a little lizard, like a little turtle, like a little
Not somebody who's looking
Not
at
a
fish.
turtle.
Right. But
Off
go
the
back to your
bridge.
statement, Lauren, too. I think it's important that he says, yes, I see them. That confirms he's the guy they saw. So it's just
That's what
another
matters.
little piece. I think
That's what matters. He saw them, which means it
he
corroborates.
never
But he
identified
didn't.
them.
He did not say that.
Yeah.
And he said he saw 3 girls, not 4, that we just say are 3 because small people don't count.
That they saw Bridge Guy. They said as they looked at Bridge Guy's picture,
What does he look? That was crazy.
that's who he saw, even though they all described him differently.
What are you thinking about right now? Sir? Are you okay?
He's thinking about
It
catching a
was all
fly.
the same experience because they were there together.
Right.
And then he states he saw them.
right.
So
If you take one little piece of this,
3 girls that looked weird. Right. And to give some credit to Rick Allen, the 3 girls that I believe that it is were all LGBTQ. So to an older like Gen Xer, he might have just thought, oh, that looks weird. It kind of checks out.
There's something in my gut that tells me that at least one girl was responsible for this. I don't know why. But so it makes me suspicious whenever he said he saw a weird girl. But that's just me. And there's no like logic to it. It's just like my gut feeling. It's like I feel like there's a girl involved.
I don't know. I do find it odd that one of the girls is like freaks out if you try to contact her.
If this happened to one of my friends, like I would, like this happened to somebody that I don't even know, and I'm like, I can't let it go. You know, I would never let it go. You know,
Mhm.
but
Well, the girl I spoke to of the three girls, she didn't really know them. She said that she just knew them from passing them in the like tunnel between the middle school and the high school. So, but the younger girls that she was with, they knew them because
It
they went to
doesn't
school together.
it doesn't make sense. If you take the whole picture together, all the witness statements, his statements, to me, it just confirms that it's Bridge Guy. And I think that's what people miss. When you first read the probable cause, it's not as clear as it probably should be because it's hard to put those things in writing, all those things together. But I think if you sat, and maybe it's a question for you, Lauren, when you sat through the trial, the timeline and all those pieces, did they come together for you?
Yes. Yes. I had to go home and do some calculating. I'll be honest. I was taking notes rapidly.
I don't think you'd have to do that.
I had to go home and let Grayson write the notes over for me.
I had to have somebody tell me what to believe, and then I would believe it.
Then I had to concoct this whole fake juror thing. It's a whole story.
And I had to go through it again. Yes, it did on multiple days. Like it just kept coming. It just kept coming. And yes, and it clearly did for the jury. And I want to point that out. Like you had to have each separate, but they all gave this timeline that added up, including when Libby and Abby are dropped off. And I went and walked the trail too, because that helped me. There are two separate entrances. And so I took where Abby and Libby was dropped off, and I took where Richard Allen parked and where he walked and the time.
You don't know the real place he parked or where he walked. So,
and the timeline didn't add up at all.
Yeah. What route did she go?
They would have met.
What route do they argue that he was taking? He was just taking the same walk the girls took, basically.
And then where the girls were taking the photo, right? They took this photo on a bridge. So I want to say, yes, after sitting in trial and hearing this very detailed timeline from each witness, and then going to the trail myself and taking each different walk, yes, Richard Allen was Bridge Guy.
No, he wasn't.
That's the only conclusion.
Yeah, it made a lot of sense to us.
She walked it, so
meaning
she knows
myself,
Richard Allen's Bridge Guy.
And you're full of shit, bitch.
She is.
My team, the
Gross.
Wrong.
investigators, because we're familiar with the area. And so that adds a lot to it. Once you, I don't know if this happened to you, but I've talked to other people. And once you go out there and physically walk there and see, okay, this is what they're talking about, it really kind of makes things start to click. And that's really hard to do in a jury room. We tried to use the drone footage and we did the best we could, but it's very difficult to do that until you go out there and kind of put boots on the ground and walk that path. It just makes it a lot easier.
Which is why we did not want the jury to walk that path or go to the crime scene. Because, you know, unless you've walked these paths, you don't know what you're doing or anything about it. And we didn't want them to have any of the facts.
Because a lot of us are visual people, and it just makes it easier to do that. And so I'm glad to hear that when you walked out there, it made even more sense to you.
Yeah, it did. It did make even more sense to me. And you're right. And there are a lot of people like, well, where would they have gone here or there or wherever? I'm like, I'm a very visual person, and going there, and I went there multiple times. And like I said, took the multiple different routes and the multiple different drives. It makes sense when you're out there. And it also makes sense. People will ask, why didn't you take the jury out there? I mean, the bridge is really different now. You know, you can't go take a jury onto that very scary bridge.
Yeah, they improved the bridge and they made it a little safer. So you can't just take them there. Crazy.
That's
And why
complicated.
why
Think
did they
about the logistics of
speed up
trying
the
to do
drone
that.
footage?
Especially with the publicity that this case has, and especially with the lack of boundaries that some podcasters and YouTubers have. There is no sense of,
That's
hey,
real
this is a
rich.
criminal proceeding.
The
this
lack
is a
of boundaries that some podcasters and YouTubers have. That is real fucking rich coming from this one. And her just sitting there with her smug fucking dumbass face, nodding back and forth.
Yep. I
Whenever
don't draw
she's
a line.
fucking catfishing goddamn criminals.
Yeah, I don't draw a line. I just have my staff do it for me.
Yeah, I just pay
professional
somebody to do
setting.
it
There's
for
no
me.
Yeah. I just send my staff to correspond with disgusting human beings.
sense of decorum. There's just
Everybody stay off this public trail for the next 3 hours. Yeah. No drones.
I mean, I just don't see how you could do that in a way where you don't run the risk of tainting the jury or having someone trying to film the jury and we had people trying to film their license plates and follow the jury
Lie.
buses. And do you think for a second they're not going to hesitate to go out in the trail and hide in the woods and wait just so they can get that next, that extra click on their website? Or, I mean, this case had so much sensation.
Am I misremembering or confusing something, or did he blame this on Lana Oriani?
Yeah. Yeah. He
Did that happen?
That's what I heard. That's what I heard, that she was the supposed suspect that didn't actually do that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Apparently that's bullshit.
Sometimes I remember stuff and I'm just like, did that really happen? That's fucking wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and we need to protect a
Just
jury.
like the poisoned donuts, I imagine. They're real creative on that side.
They really truly are.
I know what we'll do, guys. Let's say they poisoned the donuts. And then let's say they were like taking pictures
at all
of
costs, because
we're so
as
smart.
these criminal trials start to be played out, in public opinion, on YouTube, and the rhetoric gets so strong and so frightening that there's a chilling effect. I talk about this with potential jurors, where they're going to be afraid to share what they really think if they realize that someone's going to find out who they are or their identity's going to come out. And so it is so important to protect juries and jurors as more and more criminal trials are being played out.
She is the
on
queen
YouTube and
jury
public
vulture.
opinion.
The queen jury vulture.
Indeed.
Is becoming so strong. But yeah, I get it. I hear you. So Richard Allen is arrested. The day he was arrested, I want to say I was on News Nation on Banfield, just as shocked as Ashley Banfield was. We both jumped on there and talked about how we didn't know much. We didn't know much because the probable cause to arrest this man that none of us had even heard of was sealed. And that was your decision, right?
Well,
to seal that probable cause. So talk to me about that.
So I just noticed that T and Sleuthy are going live now, and they're doing the deposition of Roland Purdy. So if you wouldn't mind, Emily, I was thinking we put a pin in this and we do a to be continued.
Sounds good.
And let everyone go watch T
Yeah.
and Sleuthy.
Yes.
Another deposition, this time of Roland Purdy. So it's going to be awesome.
Sounds good. We'll go check them out.
Thank you guys for being with us tonight.
Yep. Go check out Criminality and Sleuthy Sleutherson.
Yeah. And don't forget to subscribe to Emily's channel down below, and also like and subscribe to mine.
Yep. Love you
Thanks.
guys. Bye.
Bye.